Hello, how's everybody doing today? SolarLune here, and this is another Godot engine game dev live stream for my 2D game in development. It's an adventure game, and yeah, it's going pretty well. So a couple of things, let's see. First things first, this is a little bit low. Let me adjust this real quick to be a little higher. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. Wait, no, that's the right one. Well, whatever. In any case, I'll figure it out later. I think this is the right one. I think I just wasn't fully extending it. Hold on. No, that's the wrong one. Never mind. Never mind. So, hi. I'm an independent game developer working on a 2D game called I Know Who I Am. It's made in Godot, in the Godot game engine. It's a good engine, definitely well recommended, and it's yeah, it's going pretty well. Let's see. So I got a couple new lights, which is nice. It's not. I feel like it's not as hot as the flash coming from my camera. So hopefully that'll kind of save my camera from my phone camera from dying for my face cam. That'd be well appreciated if it didn't burst into flames. Otherwise, how's everybody doing today? And we'll be getting started in a couple seconds. As for, let's see, music, let's get something playing so we can actually just have some background music while we work. go. There we go. That should be pretty good. All right. So let's see. Let me check chat real quick. Gable Penny Shot, Stepa RRC, Daniel Gomes, Potato Pin, hello. Thank you very much for stopping by and welcome to the chat. Welcome to the stream. Gable Penny Shot says, I'm ready to kick butt and draw some sprites. And yep, that is indeed what we plan to do today. Is draw some sprites and hopefully work a little bit on this on the area that we were working on last time, which is a park. So let's actually load that up here. There we go. All right. JP Stringham in the chat. Claps. How's it going? Actually, there's some music already playing. Let me silence the music that's coming from the game. I think when I'm streaming, some of my key presses get missed. Also, I think there's possibly some like screen issues real quick. Let me fix those. There we go. That should help. All right. And this should be 60 FPS. Yeah, 60 FPS. Okay. So this is the game that I'm working on. It's a 2D adventure game. It's going to be in the style of Yume Nikki. It's going to be in the style of Off, I guess you could say. I've never played those games before, but I like the idea of basically an adventure game where you explore, solve puzzles. It's not really meant to be a focus on battle or action so much as just kind of exploration and kind of understanding the situation, understanding the game as it plays. So what we have so far is this character. Tall man, it's hard to see his face. You say hello, but he doesn't respond to you. That's kind of creepy. It doesn't really match the character though. That's kind of like a temporary placeholder image that I put in last time. I started drawing something today or yesterday. I don't know if it's too creepy though. It might be a little bit too creepy, I feel like. Something that I do like though is this limited pardon me, this limited color style is very interesting. It's very artistic. I feel like his face is a little too lumpy. I kind of want it to be more angular, I think, and that would be good. But overall, I think this is this has definitely some you know, some room for improvement, some possibility for actually being able to be used here. It just seems so ragged. I like it for its raggedness, but also I don't like it for... It feels kind of rough around the edges. I think I want more angles like this. It's a little too plain, so I gotta work on that a little bit more. But that's not so bad so far. So far, it's not so bad. But yeah, I think when I'm streaming, it's actually eating some of my keyboard and mouse inputs. So if I struggle with things sometimes, understand that's probably why. Potato Pin says, "Hey Solar, how's IKWIA going? I know who I am. It's going pretty well. Thanks for asking." And Fez Pazarino says, "Hey Solar, what's up? Sup? How's it going?" Excellent. Alright, so we have a park, you can walk around, there is a pond here we have to animate in some respect, there is a kind of community center you can go, you will be able to go into. It's not, you can't do anything with it just yet, but that's the plan. And then over here you have the character you can talk to. So, pardon me, so that's what we have so far, and it's actually not too bad. Fez says, "Such good progress has been made, man." Nice, thank you very much. And Gable says, "Is there a specific sprite size you try to shoot for? 32 by 32, etc." For characters, if it's of the player size, then 32 by 32. If it's bigger, then you know that's going to change, but it would change according to the character. But for the player, he's around 24 by 24, but the sprite itself is 32 by 32, as I recall. Let me check that real quick. Oh no, he's actually just 16 by 16. He's 16 by 16 exactly. So if I were to design other characters that are supposed to fit in the same kind of bounds as the player, if he's supposed to be basically another being like the player, then they would be 16 by 16 as well, like this character's got his head down. Let's see. Razedge says, hey Solar, just curious, do you have a schedule in mind going forward? Like, are you going to be streaming this often, or probably this often? I'm going to try to hit maybe 2 to 3 days a week, because that just helps, I think, to keep, kind of boost my, what's the word? Like, kind of keep people abreast of the project. It keeps me motivated. I think it's a good idea to kind of try to keep streaming regularly if possible. So I'll probably end up making a dedicated schedule, like Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday maybe. That sounds pretty good, because then you have a day on the weekend where people can make it. Maybe I could stream a little bit earlier, and then maybe the weekdays I could stream a little bit later. So maybe like 6 p.m. ish on Tuesday and Thursday, and then maybe like 2 p.m. or yeah, maybe 2 p.m., 3 p.m. on Saturday, something to that effect. That might be pretty good. Maggot says, would a palette swap shader work for the water? I imagine that would be difficult to do on just a few tiles. That's an idea. That's how they did water in the old days on computer games. Let me see if I can pull up an example here. There was a really good example of. There was a really good example of like a waterfall. Let's see. Inputs are just not being caught. Not sure if I'm going to be able to find it, but there is a really good example of a few scenes that were drawn in such a way where, as the palettes rotate around, it looks like the water's animating. It looks like it's, you know, really a living scene, even though it's just one frame that's just procedurally rotated through for the palettes. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to find it, but I'd like to show it if possible. This is it. Here we go. Found it. This is a really good example. I'm not sure if I can zoom in at all. Here we go. Really good example of palette swapping. Is bananas. How good the effect is if you swap palettes. This is kind of something that was easier to do back in the day, and it hasn't really been done, or isn't as easy to do anymore, because you have to do shaders, and you don't really have a direct control over this kind of stuff. But this is absolutely bananas, and if I could do something to this effect, like if I could, you know, kind of harness this kind of technology, this is just beautiful, man. Absolutely beautiful. So yeah, this is basically, the idea is that by painting with specific colors and then swapping or rotating through the colors in sequence, you can get an effect of. Oh, there's actually sound. Okay, I thought I was actually like imagining that, but yeah, you can see how it works. It's actually cycling through the colors and changing them in sequence. That's what gives the effect of raining. Gives the effect of, you know. Oh, let me. There we go. The effect of the clouds rotating. It's beautiful. JP Stringham says these are so cool. Mark Ferrari did a GDC talk on these scenes. Okay, I'm gonna open that in another tab so I don't forget it. But yeah, this is beautiful, and I would love to make this kind of use this kind of technology to basically add some visual fidelity to my scenes if possible. But the technology is a little bit different nowadays, so it's a little bit more complex. Or at least I feel like it's more complex than it used to be. Beautiful. So yeah, if you want to check it out, head over to effectgames.com/demo/canvas cycle. I'll put a link there for anyone who wants to check out these scenes in the individually on their side, so they can kind of look at it more closely. But it is absolutely phenomenal what you can do with just artistic ability and knowledge of the technology. All right. So now that we know what we're not going to be doing today, now that we know that we're not going to be at that level at all, let's see if we can do something else. Gable, Penny Shot, and Fez say you're spoiling us with these streams. I love it. Your SolarLune is on fire. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hopefully I'll be able to keep it up. Let's see. Maggot says, would a palette swap shader work for the water? Yeah, probably so. So I might end up writing that shader. There's only a couple colors though, so I'm not sure how effective it would be, but that's an idea. Potato Pin says, what MIDI keyboard do you use? I'm thinking about getting one and I wanted to get your opinion. The one I use is the MIDI Plus X3 Mini. Let me unplug it. It's this one. It's pretty good. I like it. I like it pretty solidly. It feels chunky. I think that's the best way to describe it. It feels solid, really solid. There's not that many controls on it, which I feel like is good. You don't really need that many controls if you're not doing a lot of things like, you know, using making beats with samples, with, like, you know, drum loops where you have to hit the pads. Like, you might just be better off with a pad, a dedicated pad for that, box for that, for, like, you know, beat, triggering samples and stuff like that. But it's got 3 octaves. Wait, 1, 2, 3. It's got 3 octaves plus 1 key. It's got 6 buttons that have transport controls on them, but you can also program them to do different things. You've got which you can trigger by pressing the shift button. You've got 4 knobs. You've got 2 wheels. One is pitch, which returns back after letting it go, and one is modulation, which stays after you let go. And then you've got octave transpose options, which goes down and up, I think 3 levels. So overall, it's really good. I would recommend it. I think it might have been just over or just under $100. Like it's maybe 110, somewhere around there. Not bad at all. Overall, if the keys are thinner and smaller than a standard piano key, but it's not such to the level that you can't actually play notes and things. So you can still, you know, play things like you normally would. It's just a little bit smaller. I would recommend it. It's a solid keyboard. The keys are nice. They're not too heavy. They're not too light. It's not, you know, a replacement for like an ordinary keyboard if you were trying, like an ordinary piano, if you were trying to play just a piano. But for a MIDI input, like pure MIDI input, it gets the job done. It's good. I like it. Let's see. All right, so what we'll do. Oh, that's right. Let me check this real quick. Yeah, it goes down 3 octaves and goes up 4 octaves. So you have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have -1, -2, -3. So it's 7 octaves plus 3, essentially, plus over 3 octaves on the keyboard. So that's quite a spread of keys. And generally 3 octaves. I would say if you're going to get a MIDI keyboard, you probably want at least 3 octaves, just because you probably won't be spreading around that much while you're entering keys or anything. Whereas 2 octaves can be a little tight. 1 octave is really small. I would say one octave is definitely not enough if you're trying to do like chord progressions and things like that, because you can move it around pretty easily when you're trying to input chord progressions. 2 octaves, I would say, is probably, I would say like the minimum I would go with is 2 octaves if I was going to get a MIDI keyboard. I would definitely say 3 is enough. I would say 2 is cutting it close. 3 is what I would definitely recommend. For you have to think about desk space and stuff like that. So 3 octaves, I feel like it's not too big to the point where it can't fit on a desk or it's, you know, taking up all of your desk, but at the same time, it gives you a nice enough spread where you can do chord progressions, you can do melodies without really having to switch octave all the time. So yeah, that's generally what I think. I would recommend it. The MIDI plus X3 Mini. All right, so what we'll do here, we're gonna go ahead and start working on this scene a little bit more. It's definitely shaping up. It's definitely feeling like it's getting progressively finished, and this is important because this has a few tiles and a few things that basically don't exist otherwise. So it kind of makes sense why this is taking us a couple of streams to kind of get through here. But it's definitely good. It's definitely making some progress there. Let me check something real quick on my camera. It's definitely warm, but I don't think it's too bad. All right. All right. So what we'll do, we'll go ahead and get back to work here. Pull up tiled real quick. I've got to support that Patreon for tiled. It's a great piece of software. All right, so this is definitely shaping up. Definitely looking like and feeling like a proper park here. Let's go ahead and do a couple things. For one thing, something that might help us out a little bit might be to go ahead and kind of design the entryway from this point of the park into here. So as you exit your house, you go up north and then you go to the park. I feel like I want some kind of room before you get here. Now what could be on that road, I don't know. I feel like this is enough of a destination where you'll want to check it out, where it makes sense that there's some space between your house and this location. What could be there? Maybe the lake, to be honest. This is really just a small pond. This could be, this, why can't I zoom? This could be, what is, okay, there we go. This, yeah, is a little bit too weak. Aaron Moore says, a clearing with a lamppost and a park bench, and Maggot says a groundskeeper's hut. I like both of those ideas. I'm gonna implement both of those because they both make sense to be in a park, but then also it gives some more depth to the area. So we're gonna make another not a tile set, another map here. That's fine. This is gonna be park entrance. No. .tmx. There we go. And then we also need to go back to the park. I think I'd like to rename this from park to something else. There we go. Because we don't want everything to be in a single map. This is going to be a Alright, close this, go over here, okay. I always do that. There we go. Let's see, Razedge says picnic table with grills or pavilion. Yeah, those both sound like good ideas. Yeah, those both sound like things that would be in a park. So we'll start off with just... Where Where's... There we go. Okay, yeah, I thought this was a little bit too dark. There we go. Alright, well, we don't need to do that right now. Alright, so let's go ahead and actually design this. So this is going to be... Okay, so it's 3. Actually, let's do it like this. I think I want it to be a little bit larger. It's weird. My mouse just kind of dropped out. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So then what we'll do, we'll go ahead and... Actually, the pond would be bigger if we had a little bit more room. So let's give ourselves a little bit more room to work with. Okay, that's pretty good. Oh, I used the wrong one. Okay. There we go, this is what I'm missing. We're gonna leave it like, well, that actually might be a problem. Like that, that's correct. It should be like that, but at the same time, that might be a problem later. We'll leave it like that, that's fine. Let's see, so then we got dirt, let's see. Maggot says, oh, by the way, the reason you were having issues with the auto tile feature last time was because tile needs a 3x3 group and a 2x2 group for the inward corners. Okay, that's probably why, yeah. There we go. Good, good, good. Okay, so now what we want to put in is... let's see, a clearing with a lamppost and a park bench. Okay, so we already put a bench down earlier. Alright. Okay, alright, this is looking pretty good, Alright, so now, let's see. This is good because this gives us an why can't I zoom in and out reliably? This is good because this gives us an opportunity to go ahead and try to make a puzzle. So, in the park center, it didn't load it, hold on. Here we go. In the park center, there's a puzzle. There should be a puzzle, at least, that... Why can't I zoom in? There should be a puzzle that keeps the player from getting into the park center building. He needs to get in there. So what I'm thinking is, in order to get in there, he needs to burn something. Because basically... Like... Wait, actually, yeah. Because basically, there should be something that keeps him from getting inside the center location, and it seems like something to burn would be the natural choice, because basically you have grills and you have things that would, you know, you have logical reasons to find things to burn. Like, it makes sense that you'd find stuff. So let me see if I can actually make that tile real quick. I don't know why it always loads that tile set. This is annoying. I gotta figure out what's going on, why my keys aren't going through, key presses. It's really just like, it's getting to me now. It's probably, because my CPU's not really loaded down by streaming, so I think it might just be like, I need to plug them in directly to the computer, because I have a hub right now, and that's probably what's causing it. I'm guessing. Maybe. So yeah, let's try unplugging something real quick. Try just unplugging some stuff that don't need to be plugged in right now. Okay, I just had an idea about, yeah, just something else that I could use this for, but this is fine. This is fine. All right, so this is the little grill. Okay, I think I could probably use another line here. Let's see. Gable says, don't forget the cat that jumps out of nowhere and runs off screen for every creepy scene. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Maggot says, quick question, how do you go about getting your font to Godot? Where is it? You go ahead and add... I have it done a little bit more complex, but you can just go ahead and add, for example, a label. You specify a custom font. And then you can load in, you can make a new dynamic font, and then when you click it and click on font, there's a font data drop down where you can load in a like OTF or TTF file. So go to your text using node, custom fonts, make a new dynamic font, and then specify the font data and point to the TTF file or the OTF file you have. Alright, so that's good. Someone said a light pole, so we'll just kind of repurpose this flagpole. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Archie says, do you hand draw every scene? Nope. I draw elements and then create them via tiled. So I'm not drawing the scene, I'm basically making tiles that I use to compose the scene. Maggot asks, I guess I mean how you went about making the font file in the first place. I used a tool called Shoebox, but maybe there was another way I wasn't aware of. There are a few different ways. One is to go to a site that allows you to design your fonts. Like, I think Font Squirrel is one. Let me see. Or no. The font I have, I didn't make. It's a publicly available CC font. I can't think of what CC stands for. It's basically a free font that you can use for commercial products. It's the one called, let me see if I can find it, Romulus, I believe. Allegard. And so it's kind of it's not really popular per se, but it's kind of a well-known font. Another way to do it though is to go to, like I mentioned, a place where you can design your fonts. I've done it before. I don't remember quite what it's called. Font struct. That's one. And so with font struct, you can go ahead and basically design your font, and then go ahead and download it as a OTF or TTF file, as I recall, and it works fine. Works fine. Yeah. Creative Commons, Raz Edge, Creative Commons. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. I couldn't think of that to save my life. All right. So we got a light pole. We have a little barbecue grill. Yeah. Okay. Alright, pretty cool, pretty cool. It's not very obvious though. Also, this base is way too shallow for this tall of a thing. So let's go ahead and actually fix that. That's okay. Yeah, it's a little easy to lose sight of it, so let's see if we can kind of help it out just a tad. This light pole looks like a chonker. It's such a chonker of a light pole, but yeah, okay. This is not bad. We might leave it here just for now. It's not finished, but that's okay. All right, so yeah, this is looking pretty good. Feeling pretty good. Let's see. Let's put down our barbecue pit. Gable Companion Shot says, "Is the street light going to flicker?" Probably not. Probably not. It's not nighttime, so it won't ever be illuminated by the street light, I don't think. So technically, no. This is turning out a lot better than I actually kind of anticipated initially. Yeah, this is looking pretty much done. Cool. Try to move this up a little bit. There we go. Yeah, that might look a little better. I guess trash cans would also be here, but yeah, I guess that actually would make sense to have a trash can out here. We'll make a trash can real quick. I think it's too small to be a trash can. Oh, did the stream freeze? Oh, hold on. Okay, so if the stream froze, yeah, all right. So the stream froze. I think it's probably somebody's microwaving something. For some reason, the microwaves that come from our microwave in our house, where I am, it just completely wrecks streams. Like it just. As soon as you turn it on, it just wrecks streams, it wrecks downloads, internet just drops whenever somebody microwaves. So if the stream just kind of cuts out, you know someone's probably microwaving something. Somebody's eating something. So like when it's dinner time, the internet drops for like 2 minutes, and then beep. As soon as you hear the microwave come back on, it's fine. As soon as you hear the microwave go off, rather. Alright, but anyway, this is turning out pretty well. Somebody mentioned like a little groundskeeper station, so we'll do that as well. We're going to resize the map a little bit to make room for that on the left-hand side. We'll give it another another few tiles. Oh, that's right. And this is not acceptable for a trash can. I forgot. It's just too small. That's weird. Like, my computer was lagging, I guess? That was weird. But in any case, I'm still working. Still going, okay. Let's see. Banjo Media says, "Hey Solar, how does Tiled work with Godot?" I have a importer. It's an importer plugin, which you can find here in the asset lib. You should as of the time of the streaming, you shouldn't use this particular importer. You should rather get the up-to-date version off the GitHub if you want to use it. What this does is basically make it so that when I have a TMX file, a tile file, like a map, I can just drag it into my scene and it will create a full map for me like this. So this is the full outside backyard map as it's exported from Tiled. Inside mansion, where you start off, all that stuff. Let's see. JP Stringham says, if you're connected via Wi-Fi, microwaves interfere with older Wi-Fi standards. And Daniel Gomes says, hope your microwave isn't doing anything else to you guys. Thanks. I hope so too. Our Wi-Fi is pretty up to date. We updated the router recently. We updated the modem recently. We updated the standard used we have up-to-date security, but then also the standard used, I believe is A, B, G, and N. It's like A, G, and N. It's like the most up-to-date version, I thought. JP says if you can connect via 5G, that should fix it up. Okay, I'll check that. I'll check that to see which one I'm connected to right now. I might be connected to the 2.4G. Alright, well that looks like a pretty standard trash can. It's a little plain, but that's fine. It's okay. Might be able to do a little bit more with the color though. Alright, cool. So let's head back over here. We can actually put this trash can down and have some pride in having designed it well. It doesn't match the scene at all because it's way too bright, but it is fundamentally a good trash can. So I can be happy about that. It's just not, it doesn't really match anything. It's a little too bright and cheery. There we go. Better. Better. Alright. There should be another one over there. Feels like. So what I was going to do is add a dirt path that leads away from here to the shack. Something like this. That's weird. So cheap. Like, I just didn't want to draw the rest. So I think I was trying to like kind of smooth out this area a little bit, but I don't think it really can be done that easily. Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. All right, so I'm gonna use this, probably this lower roof area the gray roof for the shack here. So we'll make that here. Stepa says, I guess the casting shadow shouldn't be in front of the light pole. The light poles aren't on, it's daytime. Like, I could make it so that the light pole... Ugh. Hold on, let me get a tissue. I'll be right back. I'll be right back, give me a second. There we go. Alright, welcome back. Yo. Also, that's too far over. There we go. Yo. So yeah, I was gonna get something to eat, but then I realized that if I did actually microwave something, it would like kill the stream again. So I was like, well, let me not do that. I'll hold off for a little while. Although this is still getting to me. The mouse just keeps dying out. I'm not sure why. I have to investigate that. It's just another thing to check out. Alright, but this seems plausible. Where are my doors at? There it is. Banjo says, is it a wireless mouse? Because mine does the same thing. No, mine's wired, but I'm just experiencing kind of like little freezes all during the time that I'm working here. I'm not sure exactly why, because it wasn't doing this 2 days ago, so maybe I did something between then and now, or maybe I need to restart my computer, not sure. But yeah, it's definitely seems worse than it used to be. Did I put all the trees? I did put all the trees on the wrong layer. They should be on the foreground layer. Oh, that's okay. No, it's not. Let me let me fix it. Victor Necromancer with 3 rubles says always, or $3 says always happy to support you. Thank you very much, Victor. I appreciate that. Thank you. It's huge. That means a lot. Thank you very much. Let's see. Potato Pin says, hey, random question. I was watching one of your other streams and you were making dialogue with Rain Man. I wanted to ask, how do you deal with dialogue? It's one of my biggest struggles right now. Okay, so well, actually, we'll implement something that has dialogue in this. The way that I implement dialogue in general is I have a homemade scripting language that I made for this game specifically. It's really straightforward. It's not hard to follow, and it wasn't too hard to make. It's just for this, you know, for when you're doing like an adventure game, you'll have events where maybe people move around, where flags need to be set. Like, oh, you did this, or you checked this already, etc. So it made sense to make my own scripting language. If you don't need to do all that, then dialogue should be pretty straightforward. Generally, you want to have dialogue be separate from your code. You want to have all your assets separate from your code. So that means your tile, like your maps, should be separate. Your sprites should be separate. Your sound and music should be separate. And of course, your dialogue, your events, should be separate. Some people might choose to store them in like JSON files or spreadsheets or something like that, or a database of some description. I just choose to basically make plain text files that have the ending of .events, and the name is corresponds to basically the map on which the event is found. So the message system I made is basically, if I type MSG, that's a command, and then the following string is basically what I want to display on screen. That's how I deal with dialogue. It's not the best. It's not bad, but it's not the best. It's a little more difficult to translate. I would say it seems like it's going to be more difficult to translate moving forward, compared to maybe if it was just like a spreadsheet full of strings that I just like put in. Let's say I had a spreadsheet of strings, right, in the game, and then I could just say like message, you know, A1 for like the message in the spreadsheet at A1, or message C9 for the message, you know, that's in C9, and then I could just give that dialogue spreadsheet to a translation office, and they can just translate it really easily. With this, they'll have to like look through and find the messages and then translate them, or I have to like strip them out and then give it to them. It's not hard to do or anything like that. It's an extra step that I'd have to, you know, undertake to properly make it easier to translate or to, you know, approach with translation. But that's kind of further down the line. If you're having trouble just designing your dialogue right now, I would say just start off with something that's really easy. Start off with something that's super simple, and that does what you need it to do. So if you're doing something like me, where it's like an adventure game, where you have to trigger dialogue in sequence, like, oh, they say this and then they say that, you know, then I would say make an event system so you can trigger events in sequence, like, you know, they say one statement and then they say another statement, and then just go ahead and have some sort of method to feed information, to feed messages and strings into the system so that they can go ahead and be displayed in sequence. In this example, it's a file, it's a text file. You might choose to have a different kind of file or a different container format for this, but basically just take it a step at a time. Start off with something simple and then expand on that and improve it as you need it. If you have any other questions or, you know, anything regarding that, I'll be happy to answer it, but that's just a general approach, I would say. And this actually is something that I started off doing with Gearend. I made a scripting language and a scripting system, and I thought it was really clumsy, and then I went ahead and started like trying to do everything in code. But the thing about doing everything in code is that while it does give you more abilities because you are using a coding language rather than writing it like this, where I have to make my own scripting language. If I used GDScript or Go or Python or whatever to basically like contain the information, it'd be easier to kind of take advantage of programming capabilities like adding numbers together, getting values, you know, putting values in strings, things like that. But it has to be compiled, and it has to be contained with the code generally. With a scripting language like GDScript and Godot, it's not quite as difficult or intense, but if you are working with, let's say, Go or another kind of compiled language, then it's going to be more complex. So it's always good to kind of separate out your code, your engine, your game from your data that basically makes the game run and actually makes it like something you'd want to play, where you have things to do and places to go. Alright, so this is working. This looks pretty good. Oh, I lost these things. Yeah, it's pretty good. Oh, this would be even better. Yo, tile reuse, let's go. Let's go, tile reuse. We out here. We out here reusing tiles. Excellent. Looking like Mario up in here. I don't know why tiled is like not responding to my key presses and stuff sometimes. Anyway, let's make this a little bit taller. It feels like it's too short. There we go. Alright, so this is pretty good. We got all this stuff. It's looking pretty good. All right. So let's actually make some, make a solid layer so that we can actually like walk around this and not fall into stuff. Oh, whoops, this should be foreground. There we go. Alright, now we're gonna actually make... Yeah, now we're actually gonna make this kind of an area where you can't just walk willy-nilly. Did that one already. Alright, so we are almost done. Cool. Alright, so that should basically be it. Nice. Let's go ahead and actually do something with this. So this park is now park center. And then we're going to add another one that's going to be park entrance.events. And we're going to actually make this... It's doing this again. It's doing the thing again. Oh, there it goes. Don't save. Okay, so now we're going to bring out 2D scene. This is going to be park entrance. And then we're going to go ahead and park entrance, put this here. This is going to be a tile map. Yeah, okay, okay. We want a Y sort. We want a player. Move him somewhere that's logical. This should have the script of the game map. And then we also want terrain. Cool. Alright, so this actually is working pretty well. This is bad design, I would say. So let's fix that, because that is just slightly annoying. We'll just move it up. Maybe this should be further up here, actually. Yeah, because that just makes it less annoying again. Alright, so now let's go ahead and actually add a couple of, oh. Wait, yeah, let's actually add a couple of things to interact with. What's it called? I don't remember what I did with this thing. Hold on. Invisible object. Okay. Okay. Alright, so we're going to move this invisible object. This is going to be for the... There we go. This is going to be for the trash can. Duplicate that and move this over here. All right. That's how you spell receptacle. Okay. Alright, cool. So now when we go ahead and try to interact with this trash can, it should tell us that basically this is a full trash can essentially. Except it doesn't, which is always fun. Oh, I know why. Okay. It's because we have this here. Now, something, yeah, I know can happen is basically the way that my NPC system works is if you interact with something, it basically tries to pull for the interaction like label, like what to do. It uses the name pardon me, it uses the name of the object, which is fine normally, but in this case we have two trash cans. We might want them to say the same thing. So what I want to do is make the NPC brain that I add to an NPC basically specify what exactly is going to, like which name to use for the label to read from. So we're gonna go ahead and try this. We're gonna go over to the NPC brain here, and we're gonna export the name of the label. Let's see if we can actually. Lucretius, hello, how's it going? Why isn't this? Okay. Lucretius asks, what headphones do you use? Looks like Bose maybe? Nah, they're they're Impow. They're Impow, it doesn't say. It doesn't say on the device itself. I have it somewhere else. Let me see if I can pull it up somewhere. Lucretius says, thanks. Do they noise cancel? Yeah, they do. There's a switch on the side that allows you to turn on or off noise canceling. I think it's the Impow H5. No. No, that's not it. It's some other Impow headphones. Here we go. Yeah, it is Impow H5. Impow H5 active noise canceling headphones. So they're pretty good. They're not bad. I don't know if it's how or why, but they cracked along the top edge here. I'm not sure. I feel like it's because I maybe do like this to put them on my head, and so it eventually snapped it, which is poor design, I feel like. But at the same time, they're comfortable, they work. And even with this break, it doesn't feel like it's going to really break anytime soon, hopefully. Yeah, it's definitely because I go like this to put on my headphones, which is stupid because I mean that's a pretty normal way to put on your headphones. Like people are gonna do that, so that just feels like a poor design. Like this section here probably should be more, like there should be a split here or something like that. Something. Let's see. Let's see. Let's Start says, hey, I have a question. Currently, I use Love2D to make games. Do you think I should stick with that or move to a game engine like Godot or GameMaker? If you think I should switch, which one? There's nothing wrong with Love2D. There's nothing wrong with any framework you use to make games as long as you don't have any issues with it. If you start having issues with it to the point that, you know, you can't fix them There are fundamental problems with the engine or framework. They are inhibiting your ability to make games, and not in a way that creates creativity, but rather a way that stifles your execution of things. Then you might want to investigate other engines. But really, it has to be pretty low-level stuff that it's not doing correctly. Bugs and problems, not really just like, oh, it doesn't do this for you. It's like, well, as long as it's something that's feasible for you to do, then you can just do it. But if it's something that's fundamentally lacking and you need that for your game project, then I would recommend looking into other tools. But there's nothing wrong with Love 2D. I would say stick with it if that's what you like and you're using it successfully. Alright, I'm trying to see like if I can export this so that like I can specify a label if I wanted to, but it doesn't seem like I can. So what we'll do, we'll export var event label equals just a blank string, and then ready we say if event label is equal to blank. Like that. Lucretia says, did you choose Solus as a distro because of your username, or is that just a coincidence? What do you think? No. I chose it because of it's just a coincidence. Solus is a good distribution. I like it. It's very clean and clear and under control. It's very much a desktop distribution of Linux. It's, you know, there's not really focusing on a whole bunch of other stuff. It's very clean, it's very quick and simple. I like it. If you like other distributions, there's nothing wrong with that. I've tried a whole bunch, but Solus seems to work well with my hardware as well, so that's always a good bonus as well. Banjo Media says, what is Love 2D like? I guess you could kind of think of it like Pygame for Lua, but kept up to date. It's pretty good. Like if you're a fan of Lua, then it's one of the best. Well, as far as I know, the only real tool for making games, like framework-wise, for Lua. Or if you're just using a framework to draw things on the screen and check for input and play sounds, you're going to be using Solus essentially. Lucretia says, I said Solus. You're gonna be using Love 2D. I don't know. I must have read Solus at the same time. But yeah, Love 2D is good. If you're a fan of Lua, it's good. Let's Start says, complains that Pygame is a library and Love 2D is a framework. Yeah, I'm not gonna walk down that road with you. Let's Start. As far as I know, I mean, they're basically the same thing. Like, in terms of making games, you use Pygame to make games for Python, you use Love 2D to make games for Lua. If you have different definitions, that's fine. That's not my definition, though. Lucretia says, if you play games, do you have a Windows partition to play them or just a separate computer? I play on Linux, so I don't usually play non-Linux games, or I use Wine or Proton. Proton's been getting really good. Like half of the games that don't run on Linux run with Proton, so a lot of them run with Linux essentially. So that's cool. So like I've not been a huge fan of Valve in terms of buying my games there. Like if it's on itch, I'll buy it there. If it's on GOG, I might buy it there. But since Proton exists, it's definitely a case to buy games on Steam for Linux gamers, because it's like, well, if it's a Windows game, then I can definitely check ProtonDB and see like, oh, will it run on my computer? And if it is, then I can just I know a lot more sure. I can be a lot more sure that if I download the game or purchase the game on Steam, I can use Proton, and then I'll probably be able to play it, as opposed to getting it on GOG or Itch and then trying to go with Wine myself, where it might run, it should run, but generally, like, Steam, that's a huge, in my opinion, that's a huge reason to use Steam for Linux gamers, is with Proton, you know ahead of time if it will run, or at least if it could run. You have that assurance, as opposed to just kind of like walking out and saying, well, if it's not on Linux, then I have to wait for a port for Linux, or ask for it, or try Wine on my own and see if I can get it to run. Proton's a lot more reliable, and ProtonDB is a really good site to know basically if it's going to work ahead of time. So I'm a fan of Proton, I think, and Steam because of that. I think that it's a good incentive and effort to try to get Linux gamers more games. I think it's good overall. It's not perfect, but it does do quite well. Let's see. Okay, so this should work. Let me see if this actually is going to work. There you go. So both of these now can point to the same NPC. That's great. Let's see. Ambient Revolution says you better be backing the stuff you're doing up somewhere. Yeah. I'm committing them. Oh, snap. I haven't committed things in quite a while, actually. Well, whoops. Yeah, but I'll commit the stuff at the end of the stream. Let me commit it now. I don't want anything to happen to it. Wait, somebody mentioned something about my keyboard a while ago. I didn't answer them, I think. Maybe not. I thought oh, MIDI keyboard. Okay, I answered that. Lucretius asked, how do I do the rain? It's a particle system. I'll check it out. I'll open it up in a couple of seconds after I commit this. Rainman, park entrance, park center, GUI. Okay, what did I change with the GUI? Mouse, please. Okay, let's see. I didn't do anything with the GUI, really. There we go. That's not it. There we go. Alright, so it's being pushed now, and I'll see it on my repo online momentarily, which is excellent. Okay, excellent. So now let me go ahead back over here. We'll take a look at the rain. Tony Powell says, whoa, 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 whoa. Another dev stream. That's what I'm talking about, bro. What are you planning to work on today? I've been working for about a couple hours at this point. Working on... Let's see. Yeah, almost a couple hours. Working on just more park stuff. I'd like to implement one puzzle on stream if possible, but I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do that. Or what I'm going to do about that. Okay, so the rain is, in answering Lucretius's question, the rain is basically, it's a CPU particles 2D. It basically just spawns little raindrop particles that fall vertically downward. They have a lifetime of 1 second. There's not really too much to this. That's it. It's just particles that fall downward. There's a slight, I think, coloring, like random coloring change on each particle, but nothing really too crazy. Lucretius says there's no logic for hitting the ground right. Nope. It's just a visual effect. Hitting the ground that'd be nice. I've done that kind of thing before, but it's unnecessary, really. I mean, you know, you get the effect from just the rain visually pouring down. You don't really need much more than that. Tony Powell says, nice. So I didn't catch it just before you called it today. I'm excited to be tuning into the rest of the show. Oh, thank you. No problem. Not calling it a day just yet. I might in a few minutes, but not just yet. Not just yet. All right, let's see here. So, what do we got? Well, now that I think about it, maybe, hold on, let's see. Maybe, okay, so let's do this. Maybe you check this area, check this, the grill, you get ashes, right? What are ashes used for? Like charcoal, char. You can use that to burn things. Well, not really burn things, but you can use that to sustain a fire, I guess you could say. Or maybe you find a lighter there. So you find a lighter here. You go to the park center. Wait. What if there is... Okay, so what if... Oh, wait. Mauricio Yaman says, hi, bro, I arrived late. Hello. Welcome. Welcome. Thank you very much for stopping by. Whoa. This isn't what I wanted. There we go. Razedge says, you could grill a burger or a fish you catch and then feed it to a hobo and animal to get... animal to get them out of the way. That's an idea. That's an idea. So maybe something's in the way and you have to grill... So basically you go in here, maybe there's a fishing rod in here, you come back out, you fish, you get the fish, someone said like you get a key out the fish's mouth, which kind of makes sense. So maybe actually, yeah, okay, I got an idea. So maybe there's a spot where there's like, you know, some sort of indication that there's a fish there, but it'll disappear as you approach. So you have to kind of look carefully as you move around the pond here, the lake, to see basically like where would be a good point to cast off. And you'll see just on the peripheral edge of the screen, when you enter the area, when it's on screen, it'll disappear after maybe like 15 frames, after a quarter of a second. So you have a inkling like, oh, there's a fish. And then you can go over here, fish, get the fish, and then in its stomach is the key. Okay. And then you go north and you use the key on the door, you go inside. I gotta think about this a little bit more. That's a good idea. The only thing is that I don't want to design a puzzle that doesn't need to exist. But I'm kind of wondering if that's what this is. Like this puzzle, what's it for? It's to basically get into here, but why do we want to get in there? Why is it important? Like I can go in, we can make, because this is just going to be another map in here that you explore. Maybe that's enough. Maybe just exploring an abandoned kind of civic center area is enough to start off. Banjo Media says, Solar, I'm thinking of making a small group of tutorial vids for Sunvox, like to help the layman or laywoman to understand how to use it. Okay, that's a cool idea. Good idea. Razedge says, the way you design the building, maybe you need something, you see something on the roof you need. That's good. That's good. That's really good, because that lets you, that's a natural thing. You'll maybe pass by the flagpole and see, oh, there's something up here. Like right here. And so you'll naturally say, oh, well, I need to go up, I need to go onto the building. That's really good. That's really good. Yeah. We'll put something up there just so that I don't forget, because I have to do something up, put something up there. We'll put a fridge up there just because it's so obviously not supposed to be there. Let's see. Banjo Media says you could put one of those fish feeders down where you pay a quarter to get a handful of fish food. Okay. I'm unfamiliar with the concept, but let me see. So I'm guessing you mean something like this? Oh, I see. So basically, by putting in a quarter, it makes the fish come. Okay. Ambient Revolution says, what are those things in the window of the shop? They aren't parsing for me. It's graffiti. It's supposed to be graffiti. Okay, so then you go in here, you get a fishing rod, you come out. Maybe you look under the bench and you get a quarter. You go to the fishing thing, put in the quarter, fish. And then get the key and move up here. Okay. I think that's a good enough start. I think that's a good enough start to work with. Okay, so we have this. We'll need another map for this, but this is going to be super tiny. Oh, let's do this, actually. Probably can get a little bit more mileage, yeah, if we do something like this. I don't have a... Up into my bed, Well, I know what happened to it, but yeah, it's not here. Alright, well, whatever. We'll just do this. Oh, hold on. There we go. Sorry about that. Also, I realized, I just realized at the last minute that I left this on while the waiting music was also on. So sorry, because it was like completely illegible music. But anyway, hello. Yeah, hi. Sorry about that. Minor interruption, but nothing too major. Tony says intermission, just in time to restock on some popcorn and sneak in a bathroom break. All right, actually, yeah, let's take a little bit of a break, real quick, and then I'll be back in a few minutes. Let's see. Yo, sup? I'm back with a little bit of a bag of chips. A tiny bit. Just a few crumbs. Okay. Let's see what we can do with this. Alright, so a couple things. Firstly, someone wanted new music, banjo media specifically. So this is unrelated to the game. I got Mario Maker 2. Revanth Nani says, "Wow, I got in again. I thought I would never join you live again because time zones." Oh, perfect. Hello. Excellent. Glad to see you. Well, glad to be seen by you once again. Definitely well appreciated, and yeah, thank you for stopping by. Yeah, so let's see. So firstly, this is kind of crazy. So basically, I got Mario Maker 2, and there's a specific theme when you go to the tutorial screen, and I was like, this is actually kind of a banger. So I'll see if anyone can recognize it. Sam Crowley says, "Man, I've been a big fan of you for a long time. So cool to see you live." Oh, excellent. Thank you very much. It's always good to be seen live. Okay, sorry, I was looking at my camera because I thought that it had scratches on the flash. But yeah, it's good to be seen live, and welcome. Thank you very much for stopping by. But if you this is from Mario Maker 2. Let me see if I can bump up the volume here. Hold on. There you go. So that theme, yeah, Parakids Fingini is like, ha, this one, yeah, it's a banger, right? It's a it's a banger. This is a banger, dude. Oh man. This is all you need. That's all you need, man, is bangers. Just bangers. That's all bangers. That's all you need. Bangers. It's just 100% bangers. You know. It's all about bangers. So I gotta work on this. This also I need to work on and put out there on SoundCloud, because I need to do something with Mario Maker 2 apparently. Otherwise, the music for the game is going pretty well, and I've got quite a few tracks to the point where I'm probably not going to need to make any new ones. Unfortunately, I love to make music, so I'd like to make more tracks, but I have so many here I probably won't need to make more, at least like these. And some of them aren't really usable, but a few of them are really good, and I'm gonna use them. So let's actually listen to a different one. Let's see. Yeah, this one's pretty good. So basically, the themes I'm going for, like if I like a song that I've made previously for other things, I'll sometimes just take it into my current project. But the themes I'm usually going for is like either atmospheric, creepy, or puzzle. So like you'll hear this one is just maximum creepy. So that's just like maximum creepy. This one is pretty much like maximum puzzle. So generally, like the idea I have for that one is like it's kind of like it feels like it's time limited. Like maybe you have 60 seconds or 90 seconds to do something, and you're trying to like figure out what do I have to do, and you know what order do I have to do it in, that kind of thing. So there's a few tracks that I have so far. This one's pretty good. Yeah, so that's kind of like also kind of a puzzle track of sorts, where it's kind of like a non-404, not kind of usual style of rhythm. Yeah, people notice me grooving. That's nice, says Vilmar. Thank you. Rivant says, man, I have to make music in Sunvox. I used to make it in FL Studio and lost interest over time. Yeah, don't worry about what you use. If you didn't like FL Studio, then try Sunvox, which regardless of what you use, you should definitely keep up with making music. It's a lot of fun. And yeah, I'd highly recommend it. Aaron Morris says, reminds me of Blood's soundtrack. You ever played Blood? I never have. And this one sounds very Mega Man like. Yeah, this particular section. That sounds pretty heavily like Mega Man. And kind of like the frosty levels, like the cold levels usually have arpeggios like that kind of go down from top from top down. Banjo Media says, Solar, how do you write drums? Well, it depends on the kind of it depends on the kind of drum you're really going for, the kind of drums. Apparently we're gonna just go ahead and make a song here, so strap in for that, I guess. Let's see. Let's see here. All right, so let's start off with just like a. Oh, I don't have my keyboard plugged in. Hold on. There we go. There we go. Okay, so for the style of music for this, let's see. Aaron Moore says, "I'm now picturing playing Blood with the park theme from IKWIA." Perfect. Okay, yeah, I've never played Blood. I can only imagine that it sounds creepy. So I'm guessing that it sounds creepy, and therefore would go well with a creepy theme, which is good, I guess. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and just kick off some chords. I'm gonna go to Key Archive, my favorite sample pack. We're gonna go with synth various. This is kind of loud. Hold on. Oops. Let me see if I can kind of keep it on this side. I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. It sounds like 100% like a 90s trance song. Like and it's just like I feel it in the feel it in the air. Like that's 100% a 90s trance song. I know I can't make a 90s trance song. All right, so in answer to your question, Banjo Media. How do you write drums? So we're going to start off with these chords, and then we're going to write drums that basically accentuate the chords and are in the style that the genre that we're going for. Aaron Moore says, great OST, thank you. Revolt A10 says, I'm back. Yo, welcome. Thank you very much for stopping in. And Revantha90 says, music theory is what made me lose interest. How do you approach it? Just like, I don't know how to do good music theory for a lot of the stuff. Like, I don't know how to make stuff sound the way I want in a lot of cases, but I know how to make stuff sound the way I want in some cases. So don't worry about it. Just keep practicing, keep trying different chords and things, and you'll eventually get there. I think I'll eventually get there too. I'm not trying to say like I'm better or anything. I'm just saying like it's a continuous process of practice. And it's just you just gotta stick with it. If you want to like take music theory classes or read up on it, that's definitely things you can do. I've never really read up on it. I'm not very good, I don't think, at applying what I learn from music theory, but I don't think I've really tried that hard. So it remains to be seen if I can actually like bring something out. So we'll get to the drums for Banjo Media's question in a couple seconds. So I like this chord because that's a good start. So there's different ways that this chord can go. Yeah. So let's start off with just this beginning. Aaron Morris says, gotta go, have a good one. Oh, thanks for stopping by, yeah. Thank you very much. Revolt A10 says, relaxing. All right, well, I'm going for not relaxing, but creepy. So we'll maybe relaxing at the beginning, then creepy at the end. So we'll see if we can get that to work. Mika says, it's so interesting to see you game dev and live stream. Does the chat keep you motivated? Yeah, it does. And yeah, live streaming keeps you motivated because keeps me motivated because you want to interact with people. You don't want to just sit back and like play games or whatever. You want to like keep working and be like, well, let's do something else. And someone might bring up a good idea like banjo, and it's like, okay, well, let's make a song. Let's do something. Let's be creative. So I like this. That chord comes out of nowhere there. So nowhere though. So let's see if we can kind of. Yeah, I like that better. Revolt says, what app are you using? Sunbox. Oops, I keep bumping the monitor slightly. Leo Ziner says, "Hey, Solar, amazing music. So I have one question for you. How can I set up Raylib in Go? I have some problems with it, and official docs don't help. How did you install Raylib? On Linux is a little easier than on Windows because you don't have to do that much. It's just like it really is just follow the instructions for Raylib Go, where it's just like you install Go and then you run go git raylib-go from or the GitHub link, and that's pretty much it." Banjo says, "Can we move the face cam to the other side of the screen?" Absolutely. Absolutely. We can also make it a little bit smaller. It doesn't have to be that big. It feels like it's pretty large. Just let me size it down a little bit. There we go. Yeah, it feels like that's... yeah, if it's too small, let me know. But it feels like that's probably pretty good. Yeah, that should be fine. Alright, so this is a good start. Ooh, I might have to do that. I'm not sure about that one. That's surprisingly good, but I'm gonna keep it going with this. So the reason why we start off with basically what we have here is because drums are an integral part of a song. They set the tempo, they set the rhythm, they set the mood in a sense. So it really is important that you don't just like jump right into drums. I mean, you can start off with drums, but I mean, like, you know, you want to kind of know what you're doing before, what you're making before you kick off the drums. I mean, if you know you're going for a 4 on the floor dance, then you can start off with that. That's fine. But like, I think it's like if we're going for kind of a more involved percussive track, where the percussion is really working with the song, they're hitting all at the same time, that kind of thing, then you want to establish the song first and its rhythm and its feel, and then go ahead and kick in the percussion. So what I'm thinking is, yeah, That where it's the rhythm is driving, right? It's like a doom, doom, da-da-da, da-da-da. I think it should be kind of heavy, like rising and falling and hitting on every beat, roughly right here. So that's the general, that's the beat, but like we want the drums to kind of work with that a little bit. And I think kind of live drums would be interesting. So that's always interesting, always fun to make kind of like live rock drums. So let's see if we can make it work. Daniel Gomes says, I'm OP, thank you, I guess. And also, Sutaban says, you're dope, you're on, keep it up, SolarLune. Will do, thank you. That's the plan. I'll try to keep it up here, let's see. That's not what I'm trying to do. Okay. Alright, that's... that might be okay. It's okay. It turned out okay. I might end up using this. I think the chords leave a lot to be desired, but the general feel is kind of like a temple, Japanese native feel, like native. But then, I mean, you got drums in there, so it kind of feels tense. I don't know. It's alright. Oops. Let's see. Aaron Celesi says Sunbox looks so complicated. It might look complicated, but it's actually one of the simplest DAWs out there in terms of like overall depth to the program. Is just this. Like, there's nothing really else to it. It really is just you're looking at everything essentially. Like other programs like Reason, LMS, Linux, LMMS, Linux Multimedia Studio, or Music Making Studio rather. They're definitely capable. Fruity Loops definitely capable, but they have different screens, and there's a learning curve to it. Sunbox is basically just this: you have your pattern, you have your instruments, and then you have your song. That's it. You don't really have anything else. So it might look. I guess you could say that the learning curve is a little bit more steep in that it's not as usual, because you have the notes here in a visual format as opposed to being notes displayed, or a note taking format as opposed to being displayed physically on a piano roll. But like overall, it's really good. Yeah, it's not at all bad. Not at all a bad tool. I definitely recommend Sunbox. I think it's gotten better over time, but like overall, I would say that even with all the time I spent making music, I haven't hit the level where like I need to move from Sunbox to get better, to make better music. Like, it's always going to be me. I think it's always going to be you. Like, it's always going to be the person behind the screen who's making the music that is going to be the limit. It's not really going to be, that you don't have VSTs. It's not really that it's going to be, you don't have a visual piano roll to put notes on. Like, you can learn that stuff. It's not, that hard. But like, what makes a good sounding pad? Like that is true regardless of the program you use. Like, it's definitely something that I think you want to invest time into, is making music regardless of your tool. I think people are quick to kind of be like, oh, what tool do you use, or what, whatever. And it's like, it's not really too much about the tool. It's just about practice and kind of understanding the fundamentals. I think that if you have good fundamentals, that shouldn't matter too much, like what you use or whatever. It should just be solid content, solid music. So, looks like the stream died again. Possibly, yeah. I think the stream's struggling again. I'm just about tapped out, I think. I've been streaming for around 3 hours. Yeah, just about 15 minutes short. So I think I'm going to stop here. And we'll have to pick it up Saturday, I think. Maybe Saturday afternoon or Friday afternoon. Maybe Friday afternoon would be